Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and I can't wait any longer. A few days ago I received the puzzle on the screen from the great Phistomefel, one of the world's very, very finest constructors. Now we've made it available to our patrons over on Patreon for the last few days. A number of people have solved it over there, but I want to play it, so today is the day when I get my chance. Now remember, this is the puzzle that Phistomefel described as having the most beautiful break-in he's ever included in a Sudoku. And what does that mean? Well, it means this puzzle is going to be somewhat epic, I suspect. Now, it's also been brilliant over the last 24 hours to see how much excitement there is about our Kickstarter campaign, which is going to launch next week regarding our greatest hits book. I thought I'd just say a couple of things about it. Firstly, Mark and I are currently faced with the incredibly daunting and difficult task of trying to narrow down the puzzles that we'd like to feature in the book. These are puzzles that will have appeared before on the channel, and it's just an absolute nightmare because so many of the puzzles, well, I mean, frankly, all the puzzles we feature on the channel nowadays are just world class, full stop. And trying to select your favourites, it's like choosing your favourite child. It's just not. It's impossible to do. We're really struggling with it. It's like Desert Island Discs on speed for those of you who listen to the radio in the UK. But as I said on our Discord channel last night, if you do have a strong opinion about which puzzles you'd like to see in the book, then please drop us a comment on this video and let us know. It would be such a pity if we failed to include a puzzle that really deserved to be there. And as I say, we're having to go through so many puzzles that it is possible that we would miss, we would miss one that we would like to include. Now, once we've put together the shortlist for the puzzles we want, we're going to reach out to the setters to seek their permission and to see whether, well, the other thing we're going to ask those setters to do is to see whether they'd be prepared to make another puzzle to include in the book. So we want the book to not just include the greatest hits that have already been seen on Cracking the Cryptic, we want there to be new puzzles as well. Now, the amount of new puzzles depends on how the Kickstarter campaign goes, so that's all a watch this space type message. But anyway, yeah, we're very excited. We hope that you guys are too. Now, what are the rules to this new Phistomefel? Let me read them to you. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue given in the top left corner of the cage, and digits may not repeat within a cage. So that's completely standard killer Sudoku rules for the cages dotted around the grid. A black dot between two cells means that one of the digits in the cells is exactly double the other. Okay, that's normal crop key. And a white dot between two cells means that the two digits in the cells must be consecutive. Again, normal crop key rules. Not all black and white dots are given. So that's sometimes in crop key you do see the negative constraint operating, which would mean, if, for example, I don't know, that square was a 3 and that square was a 6, or you were thinking about whether this square could be a 6, you would wonder, well, in some versions of crop key there would need to be a black dot between these two cells in order for this to be possible. In this puzzle, this is absolutely possible. Not all black and white dots are given, so we can't use the negative constraint to our advantage. Now, do have a go at this. I mean, I just cannot recommend this highly enough. The way to play, as usual, click the link under the video. With that, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Let's see if we can spot this amazing break-in. And I suspect I'm now going to sit here for 10 minutes not doing anything. Where do we start? Looks like columns 1 and 2. At least we've got some cages there. We've got cages summing to 45. That's interesting immediately. So that suggests that those 9 cells also sum to 45. And we know that because, of course, if we look at the finished solution to this puzzle, what would the digits in this column sum to? Well, this column will contain the digits 1 to 9 in some order. If you add those digits up, you get 45. So I know this adds to 45, this adds to 45, so the yellow cells now add to 90. These cages add to 45 themselves, and that's how I know immediately these add to 45. But, in fact, didn't we do... I'm getting deja vu here. I'm sure I did a Phistomefel puzzle the other day, which had these white dots at the bottom of columns 1 and 2. That one had XV clues, not killer Sudoku clues, but I'm sure that I had this. I think I'm going mad. Well, one thing we can do, which I think I did the other day, is to say that if you look at this run of cells, they contain dots between every one of them. So these are a sequence of consecutive digits. Now, it's not possible to construct a sequence of 5 consecutive digits from the digits 1 to 9 without one of those digits being a 5. So we can at least get a pencil mark. Now, does that tell us anything useful? The answer is no. Sorry. So if this was the digits 1 to 5, it would add up to 15. 15 and 45 is 60. This would add up to 30. And if, on the other hand, this was maximum, so this was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that would add up to 35. So this would add up to 10. Right, okay. So I've proved absolutely nothing from there, of course. In fact, the more I think about it, the more stupid that was, what I've just done. So all I'm proving is that these 4 digits have to lie between 10 and 30, which are, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that's not surprising given what I put in these 5 digits. Okay, that doesn't seem very fruitful. Maybe there's somewhere else to look. Let us have a look at rows 1 and rows 2. We've got 2 cages, which add up to 18 each. That's 36. And we've got a lot of linked... a lot of linked cells by dots, but nothing quite as powerful as this. In fact, I am not actually sure how to use that either, so sorry about this. Let me have a look at column 8 and column 9, where we've also got a sort of... Well, these columns are resplendent with dots, aren't they? There are a lot of white dots here. Oh, I wonder, I tell you what I might be able to do. Can I use parity for some... A domino separated by a white dot must add to an odd number because it must contain an even and an odd number given the digits are consecutive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these, 7. So the yellow cells are the sum of 7 different odd numbers. So they are in fact themselves therefore odd. This is an even digit, so all of the yellow cells now are still summing to an odd number, so this domino sums to an odd number. And that is completely unhelpful. Well, I mean, we know this break-in's going to be difficult, don't we? So I'm not that surprised I'm not getting anywhere with it. Let me think again. Let's come back to the column 1 and column 2 again. We've got these are consecutive. So is there something we can do that combines the cage values with the... I'm just trying to remember what I did the other day. There was some mathematics I did on columns 1 and columns 2. I can't remember what it was, and I think it was clearer than it is here because this really isn't doing anything for me. I don't like it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at these rows. I mean, I presume it's nothing to do with these boxes. There's nothing going on in these boxes. So I feel like it must be... I think it's either row 1 and row 2, or column 1 and column 2, or column 8 or column 9 that is the key to the break-in, or probably some combination of them, knowing Phistomefel. It's not, oh, let me just double check, it's not some real weird ring trick, is it? Doesn't look like that. Let's have a look at this again. Yeah, it feels like it's something to do with these squares, because this column so if this is 5, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it adds up to 15, these add up to 30. If this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that adds up to 21 minus 1, which is 20. So this would add up to 25. So this, oh, I see. 5, 6, 7 is 28 minus 3. Yeah, okay. This is really right. So I think actually what I should have been thinking about, yeah, if you have 5 consecutive numbers, let's think about this algebraically. One of these, so let's call this square x minus 2. This will be x minus 1, this will be x plus 1, this will be x plus 2. So if we sum those 5 squares together, we fairly obviously get 5x. So this is a multiple of 5. Whatever it is, it's a multiple of 5. These squares are all a multiple of 5. And we know the column is also a multiple of 5. So these squares are a multiple of 5. So when I said these were between 10 and 30, I should have said, because it's true, they are, well, they're between 10 and 30 inclusive, but they can't be anything between 10 and 30. They have to be a multiple of 5, so they're 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30. Now, I just wonder, can we... 30, if we've got... Can we... Yeah, we can. Oh, this is beautiful. I feel a bit silly, actually, and I'm very sorry if you spotted this about 10 minutes ago, which I can well believe. But look, these 3 squares are linked. These 3 squares are linked. So these 3 squares, we could represent them algebraically as x minus 1, x plus 1, i.e. 3x. This is divisible by 3. Well, a black dot is always divisible by 3 because one of the cells will be x, the other will be 2x. That means 3x, i.e. it's divisible by 3. So this is divisible by 3. That triple's divisible by 3. This triple's divisible by 3. 18, last time I checked, was divisible by 3. So these 14 cells are divisible by 3. 90 is divisible by 3. So these 4 squares are also divisible by 3. Now, we've now worked out that these are really restricted because they're divisible by 5 and divisible by 3. So they are not 10, because 10 is not divisible by 3, another knowledge bomb from Cracking the Cryptic, and they are not 20. In fact, these have to be 15 or 30 now, because they have to be divisible by 5 and divisible by 3. And they're not 15, because we know that they're both odd. So this is an odd number plus an odd number. So together they are even, and they must be 30, I think. They must be even, divisible by 3, and divisible by 5. I think this only option is 30. I'm prepared to go with that. That felt very logical. So we know that they are 6, 7, 8, and 9 because they add up to 30 in 4 cells. Now, actually, with the white dots, we know that there are 6, 7, and an 8, 9 pair because they must be consecutive, but we don't know the order. But we do know the 18 cage now, look, because what's the maximum I can put into those two squares? Well, it's 4 and 5. So this square is a 9 because it's the only thing it can be. Which, that's perfect. So if this is 9, this can't be an 8-9 pair. So this must be an 8-9 pair. So 9 is in one of those 3 cells. And we've got a digit, and we've got pencil marks. I'm not going to say we're cooking with gas. I'd say I'd lit a match. That's about all I've done. Not got to the cooking yet. These are 1, 2, and 3, look, just to complete box 1. 2, 3. Oh yeah, okay. And now look at box 3. Where does 1 go in box 3? Well, we know it's not in those 3 squares. If it's in the 18 cage, there would need to be a 9 in the 18 cage, and there can't be. The 9 is down here. So the 1 must be in one of these 3 squares, which are consecutive. So they must be 1, 2, and 3 once you know one of them is a 1. And the 2 must go in the middle of them because they're consecutive. So now there's a 2 in one of these 3 squares. The 18, we don't know the 18 contains an 8 actually, because it could be 7, 6, and 5. That would be 18. And okay. So actually, I'm just thinking about this collection of dots here. We know that there is a 1 and a 3 in this collection of dots. So yeah, okay. So, yeah, so if the 1 is in this triple here, then the 2 must go there. If the 1 is on the black dot, it must be partnering a 2, and the 2 would go here. So the 2 is definitely in one of those 2 squares. It's not here. So if this is 2, we know this is a 1, 3 pair. Now, that's actually okay. I was wondering whether there was going to be a uniqueness point, which I wouldn't have used, but I think it's absolutely fine for these squares to contain 1 and 3. So if this is 2, this is 1 and 3, and that deals with the 1, 2, 3 triple that we've got here. If this is 2, yeah, okay, if this is 2, you can't put 1 in here, because then you'd need the 2 in here. So if this is 2, this is 1, and then you need to put 3 on a white dot, which means you have to put 4 here, wherever the 3 goes, because you can't use the 2 in the yeah. So if this is 2, if this is 2, we now know there's a 3 in here, so the 3 must be at one side, which forces this to be a 4. So if this is 2, this is 4. Now, if on the other hand this is 2, then this is 1 and 3. And the black dot now, the black dot can't be 1, 2, 2, 4, or 3, 6. So it has to be 4, 4, 8, and there's an 8 here. So the options here, so this is always, yeah, okay. So what we've got from this is whichever one of these is the 2, the other one is always a 4. I think. I'm just going to double check that because I think it was right, but let me double check. If this is 2, this has to be 1 because you can't put 1 here. So you'd have to put 1 here. Now this becomes a 4 for sure because one of these is a 3. That's definitely right. So if this is a 2, this is definitely a 4. If this is a 2, this has to be 1, 3. And then this has to be 4, 8. And the 4 has to go here. So this is nice. This is a 2, 4 pair. That means this square's a 5. This is a 4. There's a 4 in one of these 3 squares. And now the 3 must be in one of those squares for sure, because it's not here. So let's just have a look at this row maybe now. We need to place 1, 3, 6 and 7. Ah, yeah, this is good. The 1, 3 pair here forces this to be 6 and 7, which means we get the value of this one. This is 5, so there is no 8 in here. This is 4, 8, 9 in these 3 squares. And this must be a 1 or a 3. Yeah, okay, and where does the 8 go now? The 8's a line here, force an 8 into one of these. This can never be an 8 because this obviously can't be consecutive with it. So it goes 8, 4, 2, and this is a 1, 3 pair, and we get this 1, 3 arrangement here. And these 3 squares must be 5, 6 and 7, I think. We don't know the order of the 1s and 3s. And now we're stuck. But at least I do feel I've made progress. That is good. Okay, how do we make more progress? So we've got 30 up. Oh, yeah, okay, if I've got 30 in those squares, and we know that these add to 45, this must add up to 15. If these add up to 15, we know that they are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they are consecutive, so this is a 3. And they are... So there must be a 1, this must be a 1 or a 5 now. So this is 1, 2, 3. This must be a 1 or a 5. This must be a 2, 4 pair. So this either goes 1, 2, 3, which it doesn't. If this goes 1, 2, 3, that square's got no value. So this must go the other way. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a 3. This is not 3. This 20 cage now, these 2 squares, look, even if this is a 2, this has to add to 15. So these squares have got to be at least equal to 6. Where does the 5 go in box 4? This 5 here forces it out of those squares. You can't put a 5 in a 10 cage. You can't put 5 here. So 5 goes there. These 2 squares have got to add up to 10. Which, so this has to be a high digit. Now that's important, look, because now look, in this column I've got a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. So this square must be 4. This must be 6. There's no 6 here. So this is either 7 and 8 or it's 7 and 9. So there's definitely a 7 in one of those 2 squares. And whatever this is, these 2 add up to 10. So this has to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. And it can't be 3 or 4. So this can't be 6 or 7. And that gives us an 8, 9 pair. So this is a 7. This is a 6. This is a 7. And I am whittling away at this slowly. Okay. So this has all reached a pretty pass now, hasn't it? If we look at those squares, there doesn't look to be much doing with those. So maybe we've got to come over here again. We've got... Oh, no, hang on. I remember those 2 squares. Those 2 squares had to be even or odd. Let's check. We've got odd plus odd, that's even. Plus another 2 odds, that's still even. That's still even. These are a consecutive pair. So we now, all of these yellow squares add to an odd number. That still adds to an odd number when I add an even number. So these yellow squares add to an odd number. We know the 2 columns together add to 90, which is even. So This must add to an odd number. Now this is an odd number, so this must be an even number. This is a 6. That's 7. That was a great deal of logic to get 2 digits which are not helping me. I don't believe it. So how are we going to... We can limit these to... Well, see, I don't like doing this in Kropki Sudoku. If you look at these 2 squares, there are so many options. I mean, this could be 3, 5, 7, 8, or 9. Well, it can't be 7. Maybe I should notate it. It can be 3, 5, 8, or 9. This one can be 3, 5, 8, or 9. I suppose we've nearly got a quadruple there. Okay, not sure. How do we make more progress? That's the question we've got. Over here we've got... Oh, yeah, now these fives are the key. Because where does 5 going in now in this column? This 6, 4. It's absolutely beautiful. The 10 can't contain a 5. These can't contain a 5 by Sudoku. This can't be a 5 because of the dot, because this would be a 6 or a 4. So where does 5 go? It can only go here. So this is a 4. Oh, I'm pleased with that. But that's still... You can't put a 5 on a black dot, so one of those must be 5. This is 8 or 9, so this can't be 3. So we've now got an 8-9 pair in this column and an 8-9 pair in row 4. So we need... Oh, this is beautiful. It's just beautiful. Where does 9 go now in column 8? These squares rule out a 9, because if we put 9 in here, we have to put 8 in here, which is impossible. So we know the 9 is in the 10 cage, which means it's a 1, 9, 10 cage, and there's a 1 here. So 1, 9. 1 goes over there. This 1 fixes my 1s and 3s, look. So that ought to be helpful. That's not 1 anymore. These squares have got to be 2, 7, and 8 in some order. Five now is locked into the bottom domino here. So this must come from 4, 5, and 6. Because we know that the partner must be consecutive with 5. That one can't be 4. 7 also by Sudoku. Where does 7 now go in box 9? It must be... Ooh, yeah, it must be on this domino. Whoops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What I wanted to do is eliminate 2 from this domino. So this square here has got to be 6. It can't be 9, so it's got to be 6, 7, or 8. Oh, it's so close to a quadruple. Oh, no, it is. No, it's not. 8 can be eliminated from here. So this... One of these is a 7. 7 here must be in one of those 2 squares. No! Look at the box. This is a 6. The only digits these are selected from are 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this quadruple is 6, 7, 8, 9. With the 5, these squares have got to be made up from 1, 2, 3, and 4. That can't be 1. That can't be 4. This can't be 1 or 2. This can't be 3. Oh, that felt so good. Where is the... That's not 7. Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. no, hang on. Maybe we can do something. Can we do something with the black dot here? Because the black dot can't have a 1 or a 2 on it. So this is either 3, 6 or 4, 8. And look, this square can't be 4 or 6. So this square can't be 3 or 8. See, it's so close. Look at this. 2, 3, 4. No, this... Oh, look, we've got a 1, 2 pair here and a 5, 7, 8, 9 in this row. So this square can only be 3, 4 or 6. And that creates a triple in column 5, which means this square is an 8. Which means this square is a 4. That gives us a 3, gives us a 6. We get 3 from here, 3 from here. This is not 6 anymore. Where does 9 go in the column? Well, yeah, this is beautiful. Where does 9 go if it's got to go on the white dot? So this has to be 8. This has to be 5 or 7. And that can't be 8 or 9. Oh, it's so close. 7, 8. There must be a 2 in one of these squares, and this can't be a 1, so there must be a 3 in one of those 2 squares. Now, what else can we do? We can say 2, 7, 8. There's a 2 in one of these. 6, 7, 8 here. It feels like it's about to topple to me, but I'm not sure. And we've actually got to tip it over in order for it to topple. We can't just expect it to do it. There must be a 3 in one of those by Sudoku. Maybe it's this row. We need 4, 5, 6 and 7. That's got to be... Oh, that can't be... Yeah, where does 3 go? Okay, 3 is here. Sorry, I wasn't scanning very well. Where does 2 go as well? This has got to be 2. So this square here is 4 or 6. This square here is 5, 6 or 7. This 2, yeah, look at that. That's really weird. So the fact you lock 2 out of that gives us the 2 here, which gives me the 1, which gives me the 4. Oh, somebody's phoning me. I suspect that's Mark, because I think I'm meant to be on a call now, but I'm desperate to finish this first. Stop distracting me, Mark. Now, do we know there's a 5 down here? 1 must be over this side. This can't be 9. And, oh, it must be close to cracking. Come on, Simon. So we know that whichever, so there must be a 6 on one. Yeah, there must be a 6 on the right hand side of the 7, because there can't be an 8 on the right side of the 7. So this can't be a 6. So this is a 5. This is a 4. That gives us the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 6, the 7, the 8. This is a 5. This is a 7. And despite Mark trying to put me off, I think we're still going here. We need 2 and 6 into those squares. These 2 squares here have got to be, what's that, 3 and 6? Yeah, there's a 6 over there I can see, so that gives us the 2. This must be 7. Now, maybe this row, I think. 1, 5, 7 and 9. So this square here is 1, oh, oopsie, 1 or 9. 1, 5, 5, 7. 1, 9. 1 9 pairs, so this has got to be 5 or 7, and there's a 5 in the column. 7 5, 7 6, 6 2. This is a 1 2 pair, look. Therefore these two squares are 3 and 9. Have we got any dots that can help us here? No, not yet. I need to finish this quickly. 1 2. So I need 3. This is a 3 9. That must be an 8, therefore. That fixes the 9. That fixes the 1. That fixes the 9 and the 8. This square should be a 4. Never felt so much pressure to actually get a puzzle done in some time. 8 9. This must be a 1. This is a 9. And these two squares have got to be 2 and 3, have they? Oh, so the 9 here is going to finish off the puzzle. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous Sudoku, isn't it? Please be correct. Yes! Not a bad time either. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on. Let me know about those puzzles you'd like to see in the book. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.